All right, welcome back. This is Module 3 of the Speed Banking class, and this is where we're going to talk about real estate acquisition. So in the last module, we talked about how to pay off debt. We used the example of an average American family bringing in $5,000 a month, and without getting a raise at their job or changing their lifestyle, they were able to pay off their 30 to 35 years of traditional debt using the traditional method of payoff. They were able to pay that off in 6 years. So what's the next level? What do you do with speed banking after you've paid off your debt? Well, the answer is real estate acquisition, and we're going to jump into it and talk about it in this module. So before we do that, of course, we got to share our disclaimer, our disclosure. I'm not a licensed attorney, accountant, financial advisor, broker, real estate agent, or any other licensed individual. I am just a student, just like you guys. I love learning about financial strategies. I love applying financial strategies and building wealth and time freedom and financial freedom in my own life. And I want to share some of the strategies that I have used with you. So hopefully everybody's okay with that. Keep in mind, this is not specific counsel or advice for anybody. This is intended as general educational information. So with that said, let's dive in. So our family, $5,000 a month in, we were able to pay off their debt using speed banking in 6 years without getting a raise of their job, without changing their lifestyle. Otherwise, it would have taken them 30 to 35 years. But what do we do once we're done paying off the debt? What's the next step to speed banking? And the answer is real estate acquisition. So here's the nice thing. If you see up in the top right of the screen here, we have a house that we paid off, a $200,000 house that we paid off. The thing I love about real estate is it's leverageable. We can take that house down to the bank and we can talk to the banker and say, hey, look, I was here 6 years ago. You told me to get a mortgage. You were totally wrong. In fact, you should probably never tell anybody that ever again. I'm here today, though. I want to get a HELOC. Well, if your house is worth $200,000, a lot of times there are banks that will go up to 100% in a home equity line of credit. Some of them go to 80, some of them go to 90, some of them go to 75, some of them go to 100. But for the sake of this example, we'll say they go to 100. So we get a $200,000 line of credit on our house. It works very similar to a mortgage in that our house is the collateral for that line of credit. So if we don't end up paying it back, they're going to take the house. But that's true of a mortgage anyway. So that's nothing different than what you're used to. The only difference is now is we have more flexibility in how we can use those funds and that debt that we've got. So think of it as like a $200,000 credit card. I know that's scary for a lot of people, but remember, if we use it right, it can actually be an amazing tool. So if we take that $200,000 credit card, let's just divide that into $10,000, $20,000 down payments. And using the subject to method that you're going to learn about in the buy and hold class, we go buy 10 rental properties with $20,000 down payments. Okay, so if we're averaging about $400 a month per cash flow, that's my number. That's the number I like to get when I buy a rental property is $400 a month in cash flow. If we're averaging $400 a month in cash flow, that puts us at $4,000 a month with the acquisition of these 10 properties. Now, we can add that to the cash flow that we picked up by paying off the debt in the last module. That was $3,800. That gives us a total of $7,800 a month in cash flow. Our cash flow is now gone beyond what our income is from our job. And we use that cash flow. We use the principles of speed banking that we learned in Module 2 to pay off that line of credit. And we'll do so in 2 years using speed banking. So 6 years to pay off the debt, 2 years to pay off the line of credit that we used for the down payments on the rental properties, the HELOC. So now we're at year 8. Well, let's start attacking these little baby mortgages, right? These baby mortgages on these baby houses. So $100,000 per rental. We'll just use some average analog numbers here, $100,000. At $7,800 a month, we pay off the first one in 13 months, which means that we no longer have a mortgage payment, which means we add about $800 to our cash flow. Cash flow is now at $8,600 a month, and we're at year 9 into the speed banking process. We can pay off the next rental in 11.5 months, adding another $800 to our cash flow. So now we're at year 10. We have paid off all of our debt and acquired 10 rental properties, put our cash flow at $9,400 a month, all without ever getting a raise at our job and without changing our lifestyle. So the next step to speed banking is asset acquisition. And the last two modules, Module 2 and Module 3, we've kind of shown you the two sides of speed banking. You're going to either be in debt paydown mode or you're going to be in acquisition mode. You can't be in both at once, and that's okay. But and I'm not going to tell you which one to be in. That's totally up to you. That's up to your goals. But these are tools for your tool belt so that you can go out and start applying these things. But Module 2 showed the debt pay down mode. Module 3 showed a very high level concept of the acquisition mode. And in future modules in this class, we are going to be diving into the details of exactly how this is done. So Module 2 and Module 3 were just kind of an overview. Now we're going to be diving into the details. This wraps up Module 3. In Module 4, we're going to be talking about the difference and going into the details of the difference between lines versus loans. So I will see you guys in Module 4. We'll see you on the other side.